The Game Social has announced the new Battleforces for Christmas 2025 about Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar, the 6th October 2025, and it's after the price raising. So every price that I cite about, it will be related about the actual prices, and remember that they can change in the future, so pay attention about this. So now we go to see about the 7 armies that have been brought about Warhammer 40k, because there's been quite a lot that has been brought, and we see one each for each one, and then 4 armies about the Age of Sigmar part. So we'll go to see if they are worth or not, and we can make some discussion about the eventual price that they could be sold about, because it's also something that you have to take note about. So let's start. So we can start with Warhammer 40k part, and the first one that we see it's Blitzbound Warband, that it's about the Emperor Children, and here you have to pay attention about what you are interested about, because we have Fulgrim, the Primarch, the demonic version, that it's 135 euros, and then we have the part about the 6 Noise Marine, that it's 55 euros, and 2 units of free Flawless Blade for 50 euros each. So here the total is 290 euros as value, so you could think that it's okay. But the main part that you have to think about if are you interested about Fulgrim, because here it's 135 euros that if you have yet and you are not interested to have a second one, it's something that completely devalue such box. Otherwise, if you are interested about, the other units are always nice, so it could be a good way, because remember that the other 3 units together are 155 euros, so it's worth or not. About the price, I think that it will be about the box 180, 190 euros, but if it would be more, it will be a problem, because you can buy it discounted of 25% eventually in a lot of stores and so on, third party obviously, and in that way you could save quite a bit. And if you reach about 150 euros, you could really think. But if it's good more, about 160 discounted, could be not so great, because if you're interested about full game, it's always nice. But if you discount it, so you eliminate it because you are not interested, maybe it's better buy a combat battle or by themselves. So think about other solutions. So pay attention about you're needing about such specific of these battle forces, and it's not bad, but you have really to think if it's worth, because you only know you by yourself if you had the things or not. And then we had the Ectonian prospect for the League of Votann. This as value, it's the less about the amount of value that it has of all the battle forces for both the Warhammer 40k and the Josima, but it's quite variegated, quite interesting. I think that it's a good added part to your armies of the League of Votann. So we have Brokir Iron Master with the Adokin Assistant and free ECOX, that it's 45 euros. Free Brokir Thunderkin, that it's 50 euros. Chuk Tonya F Shakers, that it's 45 euros. 10 Ktonia Berserks, that it's 51.25 euros, and 1 Capricus Defender or Carrier, that it's 50 euros. Total 241.25 euros. So here I think that if this will be about 150, even better 140 euros, will be perfect. Even about 160 euros could be quite intriguing. If more, it will be to think about, because in that way you have to think if there is something that you are not interested about, because for example if you're not interested about the Ectonian Berserkers, it goes down to 190 euros, so it's not anymore convenient, and you have to think, because otherwise it's better to buy the piece separately with a normal discount. So here quite nice I think, but all about the price. Here a low price could be really quite nice in my opinion to buy this, because it could be really quite intriguing. And I've had the Crash Stampede, that it's about the Tyranids, and they are all monsters, so it's really quite nice. There are some things anyway to say about such modest amount, because we have the Neuro Tyrant with 2 Neuroloids and the Skimmer Killer that are only sold together only online. And so it means that there are not usually any discount, so it could be nice. In a way, because they were on the Leviathan box, could be a good way to think eventually if it's worth or not. Still, this made me have quite a scare, because I found them that there were two different prices of Europe and Italy about this, so I had to verify all the other prices. I had to verify twice to understand if there were some discrepancies. So they are called Horrors of the Hive in the Europe, and it's 87.50 euros. Instead, in Italy, they are called Horrors of Colmena, and it's 90 euros. So, okay, only different of 250, but had to verify because if other pieces were different, I had to understand if it was also different for other things, and so I had to verify all the prices of all the units for all the armies. So pay attention about this. Anyway, there were not such a problem, so it's not something that I have remember it further. Then we had the Tyrannofex Ortavirgon, because they are the two versions of the same model, that it's 54.50 euros. They've had the Haruspex or Exocrine, that it's 70 euros, and the Maleceptor or Toxicrane, that it's other 70 euros. So the total in Europe is 282 euros. In Italy, it's 284.50 euros. Here, sincerely, I think that it's really quite amazing, because the big monsters are something that it's better to buy together, save a lot of money, because I think that it's much better, okay? And here, you have to think if it's worth, but the worth is based on the price. Sincerely, I think that the final price of this box will be 190 euros, so if you are able to find this about 150, 160 euros could be nice, because in a way you can use them also in the future and so on. It's not about units that usually you can find in other box, or you have enough about them, because you can always have different replicas. Moreover, remember that the Haruspex and the Maleceptor and also the Tyrannofex can have an alternative version, so anyway could be useful. And eventually remember that you can use the spelling part for creating other models too. So here it's quite intriguing in my opinion. It's one of the best boxes. If the price would be 150, 160 euros, I suggest you think about if it goes upper than that amount, because in that way you have to think if it's worth or not based on your needing, and only you can decide. Still, it's not bad in my opinion. And I had the Farsight card that it's about the Tau. About here, it's quite nice, but sincerely, remember what has been the one of the last year about the Tau. It's really quite inferior. This one, it's much worse. It's nice, but the other one was much better. Still, we have Farsight that is 55 euros, one Riptide Battlesuit that it's 97 euros, the Broadside Battlesuit that it's 51.50 euros, and 3 Crisis Battlesuit that it's 70 euros. A total of 273.50 euros. So, not bad, sincerely, because it's really quite interesting. This, if it be about 150 euros, would be perfect, in my opinion, because it's one of the cheapest about the Warhammer 40k part, and if it be costed, discounted much more, could be not so useful, because, for example, if you have yet Farsight, it would be useless, because you will be spending 220 euros normally for the Miniatures, so if you discount, will be spending the same, so you will have only Farsight free, and it's not quite good. So I hope that it will be that amount of price. I think that 150, 160 will be perfect at the end once discounted. So only about the final price, but it's not bad at all in my opinion. And I've had the Iron Halo Strike Force that it's about the Space Marine, the only one about the Space Marine this time, okay? So we have the Captain that it's the same price for all the Captain, so it's 34.50 euros. Then we had the Company Heroes that it's 55 euros, 5 Standard Veterans that it's 51.50 euros, obviously the Primaris version. Then we had 5 Hellblasters that it's here you have to pay attention, because here you have to cut the box that is sold, because it will be 51.50 euros for 10 models. So I counted it as 26 euros for 5 for half of them. Then we have the Ballistus Dreadnought that is 57.50 euros and the Redemptor Dreadnought that is 64 euros for a total of 288.50 euros. Here, if you're not interested about the Dreadnought, here it's something that you can forget about, because only the Dreadnought it's almost half, because it's 121.50 euros only about the Dreadnoughts. So, okay. If you're interested about the Dreadnoughts, it depends by the price. Sincerely, I'm not interested at all, because the Standard, I have them, the Hellblast, I have many more of them, and sincerely, I had the shut version eventually to buy. And so, okay, it's all about the part if you're interested about. It's not bad, but sincerely, about instead of a Dreadnought, I would prefer a normal vehicle. It would be better to have or a repulsor or an impulsor at least. So, okay, it's something that could be a way to expand your army. So maybe you haven't bought about the company veterans, or you want more about the Dreadnoughts, and it's good in that way, because you can save quite a lot of money. Here, I think that the right price for this would be having the amount of 150 euros. If we go about more, and 170 or 180, sincerely, I would forget about it anyway, because I don't think that it's a great choice. But anyway, it depends, remember, by what you need. It's the most important part about anything else. So, okay, it's something to take note anyway. And I've had the first warband about the Chaos Space Marine, and here, sincerely, I find it really quite balanced and quite nice. I quite like as a composition about these Battleforces. We had the Lord discount on Hellstalker that it's 64 euros. Then we have together, because they are sold together, as we've seen about the Tyranids before, and only online, the Arachnoid, Venom Crawler, and the 2 Obliterators that it's 64 euros. Then we had the 5 Evox that it's 51.50 euros, and 10 Legionaries. About these ones I searched a lot about, and I not found them. You can't buy the Legionaries other than in the combat battle about the Chaos Space Marine. So pay attention about this. Anyway, I associated them to have a price about 51.50 euros as for the normal Marines, because I think that it's perfect. The same amount that you can compare about. And I've had the Chaos Rhino that it's 47.50 euros. A total of 278.50 euros. This, I repeat, it's quite like, because you had the elite, you had the troops, you had the vehicles, and you had the mechanical part that I quite appreciate. I love such models about the Chaos, sincerely the Venom Crawler and the Arachnoid. So, and the Stalker one, so it's really quite nice. And it's all about, if you like, about such type of army, because it could be quite nice. Still, you have to choose, and in my opinion, 150 160 euros will be nice about this one. Even better if it's lower, obviously discounted. But I quite appreciate, maybe not the best about competitive, but surely quite intriguing about having a various type of unit that you can have about the cost to expand your army. So in that way, it's not bad in my opinion. And I've had the Krieg Siege platoon that it's about the Astra Militarus and the Death Corps of Krieg, obviously. And here it's not bad, but you have to think about if it's worth or not. Because we have the Lord Commissar and the Krieg Command Squad that it's 37 euros. 2 units of 10 Death Corps of Krieg that it's 42 euros for 2 units, so 84 units for these 20 models that are the base troop. So here you have really to think about. Then we had the combat engineer that it's 37 euros, and 2 artillery team that it's 51.50 euros each, so 103 euros. So the most part of this are about the artillery and the Death Corps of Krieg, the troops. The total is 261 euros. So it's worth, not, it's up to you decide. Surely, if you go to integrate this with the army set of the Death Corps of Krieg, and eventually the combat battle will be quite amazing, because you can really expand a lot more, because you have the artilleries, and it could be nice. Here, for sure, if you go to see, I think that the price should be 100. If it's about 150, 140 euros, it's to buy for sure, because you can have a lot, and you could even think about buying 2 of these, for example, because you can save quite a lot of money. If it would be more, you have really to think if it's worth or not. Moreover, because if you're not interested, for example, about the Death Corps or Kriegs, here you save anyway. It would be costing completely 180 euros, so it will not anymore worth. So you have really to think if okay or not. Sincerely, I like a lot, and I suggest you about this one. And the final price, it's the one that can change completely your way to think about such type of Battleforces, because it could be nice in both ways, and you had really to choose. And then it's time about the Age of Sigmar Battleforces for the 2025. And sincerely, these are as worth the most expensive ones. So, okay, really quite nice compared to every one of the Warhammer 40k ones. So we can start with the Sky Warstorm. And here it's really quite variegated. I really quite like, sincerely, and it's a good expansion about the Skaven, because we have the Archwork that it's 32.50 euros. 2 units of 10 stone vermin that it's 44 euros each, so 88 euros. Then we had the Rattling Warp Blast that it's 45 euros. 3 Warlock Jazer that it's 41 euros. 5 Acolyte Globades that it's 45 euros. And the Warspark Weapon Battery that it's 42 euros. For a total of 293.50 euros. Here, this, I think that everything is usable without any problems, so I don't think that there would be any problem about these ones. And here, I think that if the price would be about 150, 160 euros, even 170 euros could be really quite a good thing, because you can say quite a lot, being under the half of value of the price of this army. I think that will be the perfect way to have this one, because it's not bad in my opinion. So, okay, good start. And then we have Lances of the Crimson Keep. This is about the Soulblight Gravelords, and we can start to see that it's contain Principal Dry, that it's 150 euros, 2 units of 5 Platinite, it's 57.50 euros. For 2 units, it means 115 euros, and then 3 Fellbats that it's 50 euros, for a total of 315 euros. So this is the most value for all the Battleforces of this year. At the same time, it's the one that I consider less worth of such value, because we have the Fellbats, and sincerely they are never worth for these 3 models 50 euros. Never. Moreover, if you think that the Blood Knights, it's 70 euros more, and it's with 5 models, more detail, and much better. So sincerely, the price at the end, it's not worth. Okay, then you have to think if it's okay or not to buy it, because sincerely, I prefer the one of the last year, that it was much better in my opinion. Okay, you have alright that it's an amazing model, beautiful, because it's really beautiful, but how much it could be sold about? Because if you think about it would be more than 200 euros this box sold. So if this reach about 180 euros, maybe it could be nice. But think about simply removing the part about the Fellbats. So from 315 euros, we go about 250 euros. And it's not so different from the price normally. So you could save money, but not so much, 10, 20 euros. If you need Warrai, okay. Anyway, you need Warrai, because it's the only way to have the Remnant Dragon otherwise, because it's the same model. At the same time, not so sure. If for some miracle this would be about 150, 160 euros, it's a must-have, because you can have Vodrai and at the same time have for free the Blood Knights. So I think that in that way it will be really quite amazing. It's all about the final price, but sincerely, even if it's one that I should love, it's the one that I'm really less expectant about, because I think that this will be the one with the higher price that is sold about. And sincerely, I don't understand the price of the Fellbats. It's too much, and sincerely, you try to raise the money about these ones, and I had these Fellbats, but I bought them with Sekar, because it was together, and at the same time I saved quite a lot. And sincerely, these are not worth. Anyway, you have a not complete army about this, but a good start about the army, because you have Vodrai and so also the Blood Knights that are not bad. Really, it's something that I want to see the final price to understand if it's worth or not, and you'll have to think, because it will be the most expensive one that you can buy. So, do you need them? Buy. Do you not need some of them? Think about. And I had Dunkhold Rampage that it's about the Troggoth for the Gloomspite kids. And here it's quite interesting. If you want to start some troll army, it's amazing, because you had Trag, the Troggoth King, that it's 84 euros. You had the Dunkhold Trogboss or Troggoth that it's 64 euros. You had 2 units of free Roggat Troggoth that it's 51.50 euros for 2, so 103 euros. And free for water Troggoths that it's 45 euros. So a total of 296 euros. So it's really quite interesting, this one, and there are all models that you can use without any problem, so it's quite nice, because also the Troggoth King, if you want, you can use as a normal Troggoth. Okay, it's not that problem. And nice, in my opinion, it's really quite good. I think that the price for this will be about 170, 180 euros, even discounted. If it will be reaching 160, it would be even better. So I think that it can have quite a lot of interesting part. It's one of the best in my opinion, because it has content that can make you a really personalized army that it's nice, okay, but obviously depends by what you need. But there are the trolls that you can need, sincerely. So if you want to create a troll army, these are all models that you can need and can use. So quite nice in my opinion about this. And then the last of the Battleforces is about Age of Sigmar, that it's Outcast Spectacle, and it's about the Sylvaneth. And here it's all about the Dryad version. So we have Draika Hamadret, that it's 51.50 euros. The Spirit of Dutu of the Tree Lord, or the Ancient Tree Lord, that is 64 euros. Free unit of Spite Revenant or 3 Revenant, that it's 45 euros for free, so 135 euros. And 20 Dryads. And here I had to make some calculation, because the box is of 16, or they wrote about writing how many there are. Well, anyway, it's with another sprue in. So I counted that it's 45 euros plus 5 euros more, so 50 euros total if there are 20. So the total is 300.50 euros. So it's really quite nice as army, quite variegated and so on. You can personalize in a lot of way, because you can have quite a lot of variation, even simply about that Lord that could be written in different ways. Also, Hamadret could be used as a Lord, it's not a problem. And the Revenant that are quite variegated. So here, it's not the same problem that it's about the Soulblight Gravelords one, because here I think that there are more units and more variety that it's available. So I think that it's more possible to create something peculiar with this battle force. And okay, here I think that it will be about at the end 180, 190 euros discounted. Anyway, it will be saving quite a lot of money. If it's for some reason will be about 150, 160 euros, buy these, because for sure you can reuse them. And don't worry about Drika if you have yet one, because you have what remain about the Spirit of Durtu or the Tree Lord, so that you can convert her in a lot of different ways to create another one. So the problems there aren't. If you're interested about the most part that are the Spite Revenant and the Dryads, I think that it's perfectly worth. And the Spirit of Dutu, you always need something like this, so it's not a problem. So I think that it could be really quite intriguing as an option, so you can really think about such one. So to say about such Battleforces, sincerely I find them interesting, but not as much as the last year, and it depends by what you need. Because, for example, we have seen the part about the Emperor Chiden. If you're not interested about Fulgrim, it's useless. But if you're interested about it, it could be really quite amazing. And remember that you have to see the price about the Jew. And remember that each of these will have different prices, because some of them are really quite close about price, but the other are really quite different. Think about the one about the Soulblight Gravelords, that it's much expensive. And you have to decide and remember to use a third-party reseller so that you can have a save money about 20% and it could be much better. The problem is that the 6th of October, when has been released this Battleforces, there has been also an increase about the prices from the GU of 4%. That it's quite a lot. More about this, it's maybe some few euros, but you can perceive them because it could be quite a lot. So here you had to decide if it's worth or not based on your needing. You had to verify which one of these you are more intrigued about and make some. Okay, I brought you the calculation about the worth, but if there is something inside that it's completely useless for you or you don't want, and it's better something else, because remember that otherwise you had the combat battles or the spearheads that are available, and eventually could be a good way. For example, I am most interested about more a combat pattern for the Astra Reapers than the ones that I've seen for Age of Sigmar. Even if, based on the price, could be interested about buying the one about the Super Gravelord. Still, worth or not, it's up to you. But you have to decide based on your needing. Remember, only you can decide how much these things are worth at the end. So pay attention. Anyway, from deynonmod it's everything. I invite you to subscribe to the channel, to ring the bell so to receive notification about new video, to comment under here about this video, or if you want to suggest me new videos. So I hope to see you again to the next time.